12 life-changing leadership habits you've never heard of. I guarantee by the end of this list, there'll be at least one life-changing habit in terms of your leadership as well as your everyday life. Uh, these habits will dramatically improve your ability to lead and live. Let's start with habit number one. Start meetings 2 minutes early, whether that's a one-on-one meeting or a group meeting. When's the last time you were at a meeting that started 2 minutes early? Most meetings start 5 to 10 minutes late. So, what is this? Where did I learn this from? A great friend and mentor of mine, Dr. Jason Selk. I believe he's the world's greatest expert on success, mental toughness, and winning. And Jason Selk, taught me this. He learned it from the great John Wooden, who was ESPN's coach of the century, UCLA basketball coach. And by starting meetings 2 minutes early, one, it makes you stand out. It's different. This is how you're sending a signal that we are so precise and so different here. And we go the extra mile. We go above and beyond, not just being on time, but we start 2 minutes early. It's a great standard to set in your organization. And it's also, if you're a coach or a leader, again, it signals that you're very precise in what you do. You go above and beyond, not just being on time. And it's a habit I've seen practiced by all of my mentors. They're all early. They are pretty much never late. And when you are early, it signifies two things. Number one, that you respect other people's time. And number two, that you are organized and precise in what you do. So that's habit number one. Habit number two, set a moratorium on text messages and phone calls outside of work hours, outside of emergency. If an emergency comes up and you need to call or text someone, do so. But what I found after working with over organizations in over 100 categories of business over the last 10 years, it is extremely rare that these emergencies happen. We're talking once a month, sometimes once every few months, once a year, where you really need to talk outside of work hours. So as the leader, you need to make it a prescription that we will not communicate with each other outside of work hours via text message or phone call. Just let people have their personal time. Let them recover, recharge, and repair. Let them have quality time with their family. If you need to communicate, just send an email so they can look at it the next day. But don't do it via text message or phone call. And it starts with you as a leader. So don't text message and phone call people outside of work hours. Have some respect for their time. Inside of work hours, we are going to be, our standards will be extremely high in terms of performance and getting things done, which we'll talk about with some of these other habits that allow us to do that. So we can work a normal work week and still get more done than 99% of organizations by practicing these other habits. But you must set a moratorium for your team, and they will thank you for it. They're begging someone to set that moratorium on their time. Again, it starts with you. So you've got to set that example. And again, make it a prescription, not a suggestion. Way too many leaders make suggestions when they really should be writing prescriptions. We are doing this. Okay, start speaking like a leader that someone respects. Okay, number three, go to Goat Mountain when learning. Spend 5 to 60 minutes a day studying the greats. And what do I mean by Goat Mountain? I call it modeling Mount Rushmore. Go to the Mount Rushmore. Go to the best information you could find. The late, great Kobe Bryant said, go to Goat Mountain. Go to the greatest of all time and study them. Most people, if they're studying at all, they're studying the good to the great. Okay, but they're not studying the greatest. All the greatest study the greats. For example, Kobe Bryant studied Michael Jordan. That's who he studied the most. Jeff Bezos, founder of Amazon, studied Sam Walton, the founder of Walmart. He wasn't just studying any retailer. He was who's the greatest of all time, and it was Sam Walton, maybe still to this day. So that's who Jeff Bezos studied. You have to be so scrutinous on the information you take in. You want to go to Goat Mountain. Okay, so how do you do this? A great place to start is biographies. Find a biography of someone who's had the success you desire. Okay, some of my favorites, Be Useful by Arnold Schwarzenegger. That's my all-time favorite biography. If you're a leader, Steve Jobs biography by Walter Isaacson. Also, Michael Jordan, The Life by Roland Lazenby. Excellent biographies. But there's many great biographies out there. Another great way to study the greats is the Founders Podcast by David Sendra. Essentially, he's summarizing the greatest biographies of all time, the greatest performers of all time, and putting them into a podcast that are an hour at the most, maybe 2 hours long, but it's very condensed knowledge. Highly, highly, highly recommend it. A great place to start with Founders is the Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant episode, or the Steve Jobs episode on simplicity, or the Bill Walsh episode on his book, Score Takes Care of Itself. Great place to start. If you want to go to Goat Mountain of living leaders, here's a few. Or recent leaders at least. Wisdom of the Bullfrog by Admiral William McCraven. That's Goat Mountain in terms of leadership. In terms of business, the Amazon Way on Jeff Bezos' 14 leadership principles. And then in terms of sport, The Score Takes Care of Itself by Bill Walsh, three-time Super Bowl champion head coach of the 49ers. So that's going to Goat Mountain. Habit number 4, form a personal board of directors of 3 to 5 people who will tell you what you're doing right. Number 1. Number 2, what you can do better. And number 3, they'll teach you something new. So you have to be highly intentional on forming your own personal board of directors in your life, personal life, and your work. Okay, so 3 to 5 people. If you have just one, that's a great start. But if you can get 3 to 5 people you can go to who can help you solve your biggest problem, who can tell you what you're doing right to give you confidence and tell you where you're being an idiot so you can improve and not drive off a cliff, and also teach you something new that you didn't know. That's what you're looking for. So who should be on this personal board of directors? I've done this personally. One of the best things I've ever done, hands down. Started doing it at about age 19. Just for some reason. Probably because I was studying the greats starting at age 12. I was reading biographies. So I figured, let me just get a great personal board of directors who can help me be the best I could be. So who should be on this personal board of directors? Mentors, coaches, a therapist if you need it. And we all probably need it at one point or often in our life. Doctors, trusted friends and family members who we respect and admire their opinion, spiritual advisors, personal trainers, nutritionists. All these people can be on your personal board of directors in your life. So be very intentional about forming a personal board of directors, paid and also unpaid, and be very grateful for that personal board. Thank them at every opportunity you can. Habit number 5, learn the best of performance psychology, which so few individuals and so few leaders study. So what do I mean by performance psychology? 3 key areas as I define it. Number 1 is goal mastery. Learn how to set and achieve a goal, how to master your time to get things done. Number 2 is mental toughness. Learn how to deal with adversity, challenges, stress. Learn mental toughness. And then number 3 is self-belief. Okay, learn how to believe in yourself, how to talk to yourself, how to be your own positive coach, learn how to develop your self-esteem. Okay, so some great books on this. Relentless Solution Focus by aforementioned great friend and mentor of mine, Dr. Jason Selk. I'd say that's the number 1 place to start. Learned Excellence by Dr. Eric Potteratt, who is the performance psychologist for the Navy SEALs, another friend and mentor of mine. The Success Principles by Jack Canfield. And The Confident Mind by another great friend and teacher of mine, Dr. Nate Zinsser out of West Point. So here's habit number 6. Collect and use the best mental models / principles. Collect and apply the best mental models and principles, which I'm about to share a few in terms of other habits. So great books on this are Mental Models by Peter Hollins, great short book on mental models, The 80-20 Principle by Richard Koch, one of my favorite authors and experts, and Relentless Solution Focus by Dr. Jason Selk. Habit number 7, religiously practice the 80-20 principle and time blocking. So what does this mean? 80-20 principle tells us that very few things matter, but they matter a lot. So identify out of the 10 things you could do today, what are the 2 things, the 20%, that'll get you 80 to 100% of your results? It's really about obsessive prioritization of what's most important. And then time blocking is essentially work off a calendar, work off a schedule, block off times during the day for pretty much everything in your life that's important, from your family time to your health to your work. So here's the practice. Block off the first 90 minutes of your day for your most important tasks only. That means no meetings, no interruptions. Ask yourself, if you were only allowed to work for 90 minutes today, what would you work on? And a great book on this is The One Thing by Gary Keller. Habit number 8, Apply Parkinson's law to everything. Parkinson's law tells us, it's a great principle, a task takes the amount of time that we give it. So if you give ourselves an hour to get something done, it'll take an hour. If we give ourselves 30 minutes, we'll figure out how to work smarter. So a great question you could ask yourself is that I ask all my great clients is, how can we do this in half the time? How can I do this in half the time? And almost always you can. Okay, great book on this. Again, Mental Models by Peter Hollins. Habit number 9, master the Pygmalion effect, which can be summed up in 4 words. I believe in you. One of the greatest principles of leadership, if not the greatest principle, is the Pygmalion effect by Dr. Robert Rosenthal. And Dr. Rosenthal tells us that our belief in a team member, our child, a student, a player on a sports team has an actual positive effect on our performance. Okay, a great book on this is The Score Takes Care of Itself by Bill Walsh. Habit number 10, almost done here. Get more physically confident through Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu and cardiovascular exercise. Out of the list of the 10 greatest leaders I've ever known, a disproportionate amount of them had some sort of grappling background. Could be wrestling, Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. Essentially learn how to defend yourself if you have to. And I say just get a blue belt. Get a blue belt in Brazilian Jiu-Jitsu. That can take anywhere from a year to 2 years, 2 to 3 days a week, but it is one of the greatest investments of your time you will ever make in your life. Also, do 30 minutes, 3 days a week, a zone 2 cardiovascular exercise or more. Talk to your doctor about this, but it's a great way to increase your mood, your mental health, your mental performance. Get that cardiovascular in. Habit number 10, differences of opinion should not be conducted over text message or email. Grow up, pick up the phone, or have the conversation in person. I see this all the time, these digital group arguments. Grow up, okay? In these group apps, group text messages, group emails, or even one-on-one text messages and emails, and sending these passive-aggressive nonsense arguments where you just grow up and pick up the phone. Grow up and do it in person. If you don't, you can't call yourself a leader unless you can have a difficult conversation like an adult. And there's a framework to do this. I teach all my great clients. I have videos on this and episodes on having difficult conversations. You want to separate yourself from everybody else as a leader. Learn how to have a difficult conversation like an adult in a respectful way that both of you leave better. Habit number 12, never show doubts and fears. You can never show doubts and fears to your people, to your children if you're a parent, to your players on your sports team. You can have doubts and fears, but you can never show them. You've got to work through them with your personal board of directors before you go in front of your people, because your people don't need to hear or see your doubts and fears. All this nonsense about being vulnerable in front of your people and talking about your doubts and fears, there is no scientific evidence that's a good idea as a leader. You can have doubts and fears like we all do, but you've got to work through them. Your people want to see confidence in yourself, the mission, and in them. So my challenge to you now, 12 habits, 12 elite habits of leadership. Pick the one that you need to improve the most on and start working on it today. Your people will be better off because of it. Your life will be better off because of it. Your organization and the world will be better off because of it. I wish you an elevated life of success, happiness, and positive impact.